Welcome everyone to another Malware Geek review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Trend Micro Maximum Security. This is Trend Micro's latest release of their flagship home product for consumers. And it's been a while since I've taken a look at Trend Micro, so I figured today was a good day to do so. If we dive into the product and we take a look at its usability and user interface, their user interface definitely isn't my favorite, but it's not the worst I've seen either. On the main user interface, we have the quick scan, full scan, custom scan button right here. You have your settings menu button right next to it, and your security report. Up here you have device, privacy, data, and family settings. If we go into the device settings, we can access more advanced settings. So we have our security settings, which is basically the real-time scanning and web filtering. Your PC health checkup, mute mode, and you can protect another device. So if we go into the configuration menu here, we can see that we have some different options. Scanning for threats when opening, saving, or downloading files. Enabling real-time scanning of compressed files, which is off by default. They have machine learning to protect you from unknown threats. It checks to see if programs are making unauthorized changes to the system settings. It also prevents programs from executing automatically from portable drives, etc., etc. We have our protection level down here, which by default is set to switch protection level automatically. You can change how it handles different types of threats and whether it displays a warning when it detects malware or suspicious behavior. Under PC Health Checkup, this is basically scanning your computer for vulnerabilities and out-of-date software and whatnot. Scheduled scans, you can change the way it handles a scheduled scan and set a specific schedule or whatever. Under Internet and Email Controls, we can handle we can see how it handles web threats and malicious websites. Spam and email filters, which are both off by default. And under Network here, it's very interesting because it doesn't actually have a firewall. It has what they call a firewall booster, which basically just enhances the protection given by Windows Firewall. And we all know how great Windows Firewall is, or lack thereof. So, it's kind of disappointing to see that a maximum, quote-unquote, maximum security product doesn't have its own firewall. That's really kind of annoying. I expect a product that's maximum security, or a flagship product like this, to have its own firewall. And then you have under your exceptions list, you can add programs and folders, websites, etc. If you go here under other settings, basically you have how you can change how the settings how the program starts up. Network settings, smart protection, etc., etc. I'm not going to go into all that because it's not that exciting and I don't really care about those settings. Privacy, you have your privacy scanner, social networking protection, and data theft protection, which is off by default. Under data, you have your folder shield. This is their anti-ransomware module, basically. Protects your different folders from a ransomware attack. However, it is not on by default. You actually have to configure it manually. So I find that to be a little disappointing for a maximum security product. They should at least add some common folders that are targeted by malware, such as documents, pictures, music, that sort of stuff, but they don't. So, whatever. Secure erase sensitive files, just deleting sensitive files permanently. Password manager, which is not installed by default. Cloud storage scanner, and your vault. Family, which is basically parental controls. We're not going to go into that. So yeah, that's the program in a nutshell. So we're going to see how well it can protect us from malware today. I have some fresh malware links. So before we get started, I'm going to check for updates. It says it's up to date, so let's see how well it does against some malware. So here's our first file, ws.exe. Sounds totally legit, but it has been blocked by Trend Micro. Trend Micro says it's ransomware, and the web filter has blocked it. So that's good. Here's our next file. Trend Micro blocks it as a dangerous page. Doesn't allow the file to load. Documento.exe, because we all know documents are executable files. Totally legit. But Trend Micro gets rid of it. Blocks it. Says it's ransomware. I actually think that's a Trojan, but whatever. Still, it blocked it, so no big deal there. As long as it blocks the file, I don't care. This one has also been blocked. Quote.exe as a dangerous page. Looks like their web filtering signatures are pretty good. Here's our next malicious file, and it's been blocked as well. This program.exe, totally legit, but Trend Micro doesn't have it, and it blocks it. Let's try this randomly named executable. That one has also been blocked. Payment.exe, wow. We all need an executable file to make a payment. Blocked, though, by Trend Micro. Fonts.exe, now this is one that someone might actually fall for. Good social engineering trick. But Trend Micro blocks it. And one.exe, which is a common name for malware, but it's also blocked by Trend Micro. So that's a clean sheet for Trend Micro. 10 out of 10. No file was allowed to load, so I'm not even going to do any second opinion scans because nothing loaded up. So clean sheet there, but the more difficult part of the test is definitely coming up. I'm going to grab a pack of malware, stick it on the desktop, and scan it with Trend Micro to see what its overall detection rate is, and then we will do the 0-day component of the test. So I'm going to turn off the real-time scanning temporarily just to put the file on the desktop, and then I'll turn it back on once we get the overall detection rate. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have put the malware file onto the desktop, and in the file today we have 518 samples, so we're going to do a right-click scan with Trend Micro and see how many it detects and removes, and then I'll be back with the results. Okay, so Trend Micro has finished scanning, left over 114 items. We started with 518, so let's do the detection ratio calculation here. 114, 404 out of 518, 77.9%, which is average. It's not great. Obviously, we've seen higher detection rates from other products, but let's see how well it can protect us from the execution of these unknown files. So let me turn on the real-time protection really quick. There we go. Now, it does have machine learning, as I pointed out at the beginning of the test, but there's not much in terms of, changes to the system or anything like that, because this is a clean install of Windows, so I don't know how much learning it really needs to do. So I would kind of expect it to be able to block the threats, without, having to quote-unquote learn the machine, because there's really not much to learn about it. So anyways, let's go ahead and start executing some of these. As I showed you there, Trend Micro is once again active on the system. So let's go ahead and start running some of these. Okay, so that one was caught, suspicious file blocked. And you should block this file for your own safety unless it comes with a trustworthy source. And it blocks the execution of the file. That's great. Let's try another one. That one was also caught. So that's exciting to see. Let's try this one. Okay, it's doing something. One-click downloader. That sounds suspiciously adware-ish. And it looks to be a torrent or something. It wants to install a bunch of toolbars. Well, we might as well. That one's missing a DLL file. We already have a new file on the desktop. Okay, that one was blocked. Malware 126 was caught by Trend Micro. Let's try this one. That one was also caught. So it seems to be doing a fairly good job. That one was also blocked. Let's try this. So it's blocking these files, which is great. Yep, suspicious file blocked. Now, interestingly, what I want to try is, let me grab, first of all, let me grab my malware detection tools. Because I've run quite a few of those, and it's not really letting any of those files really run. So, let's try one more. That one failed. And it blocked that one too. So, we do have, let's see what we got running around in memory. There were a few files that did load up. Looks like we have some DLLs possibly being executed. So, we might have some fishy stuff going on here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Zimana. And what I really want to test is, does it block them based upon their digital signatures? Which is what I'm thinking is going on. But, let's try to load up KillSwitch, which isn't a very commonly used program. Looks like KillSwitch loads up just fine. So it looks like it lets legitimate files load and seems to block malware files pretty well. So, because Zimana and KillSwitch loaded up, let's try to load up Hitman Pro. Hitman Pro loads up just fine. Let's see if we have any untrusted. While I have KillSwitch up, let's see if we have any weird processes running around. Nope, doesn't appear so. So let me do a scan with Hitman Pro and Zimana and see if we have any malware that got through. So this file here on the desktop looks suspicious, but we'll see. So I'll be back. Okay, so Hitman Pro and Zimana finished scanning. Zimana didn't find anything. However, Hitman Pro did. It looks like we have some adware-related registry keys and modifications to the system that have been made. And I believe this is also related to this adware crap. But overall, Trend Micro didn't do a bad job. Oh, and I forgot to look at its memory usage, by the way. I just remembered that. It does seem to be a little bit heavy in the memory department, but I haven't noticed a system slowdown. So, you know, it doesn't seem to really affect the system that badly, and it's not clunky or anything like that. So maybe a little bit of an improvement on the memory section, but not bad overall. No system slowdowns or anything like that. My overall thoughts on Trend Micro. I think it did a pretty good job. We didn't really have any serious malware infections that were allowed to infiltrate the system. My couple of complaints, which I've kind of already addressed already, but I'll kind of go a little bit further into detail. For a maximum security product, it definitely is disappointing that it lacks a legitimate firewall. It's relying upon Windows Firewall and quote-unquote reinforcing it or enhancing it or whatever they call it. Why can't you just build your own firewall? That's kind of the point of buying an internet security product, is to have a firewall, with the anti-malware capabilities as well. So that's disappointing. In terms of its anti-ransomware module, I kind of wish they had some of those folders configured by default in terms of music and documents and pictures. Just common folders that people store their files in that ransomware commonly targets would be nice, instead of having the user having to do that. Oops. Okay, sorry about that. My phone decided to ring right in the middle of a review. Anyways, as I was saying, those, obviously are my complaints. Obviously the memory usage, could be a little bit lower, but definitely didn't slow down the system at all. I was running Zamana and Hitman Pro, and Trend Micro's, real-time scanning was active, and I didn't notice any kind of a, slowdown. Its scanning speed also is fairly good. It scans and detects the files and immediately deletes them when it detects them. So that's good too. So overall, I have to give this a thumbs up and recommend it. I have no reason not to recommend it. Yes, it did allow some adware modifications to the system, but other programs have also done that. But some of those other programs also had some other glaring problems, which is why I didn't recommend them. So it was fantastic to see that Trend Micro blocked those suspicious files just immediately. It was done. There was nothing, they didn't load up in memory, but it allows legitimate files to load and blocks malicious ones or suspicious ones. So overall, it did a good job. I have to recommend this. So make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Share this with your family and friends. Trend Micro Maximum Security does a great job protecting you from malware, but it doesn't have a firewall. So you're either going to have to use Windows Firewall or get a third-party firewall. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later.